Hello and welcome to the FPAC Pro-Bono YouTube channel. This is our first video, and we're here today to introduce the Financial Planning Association of Canada Pro-Bono Committee. My name is Mark Walhout. I am a member of FPAC and a volunteer on the Pro-Bono Committee, and with me is Letitia Fluit, and she is our intake coordinator and also a volunteer on the Pro-Bono Committee. Thanks for joining us today, Letitia. Letitia, can you talk a little bit about what the FPAC Pro Bono Committee is, what our mission is, and what we're out there to do to help Canadians who might be interested in the service?
So the Pro Bono Committee was established really to help those who are wondering about anything financial related, who need unbiased advice. And that unbiased advice that does not come associated with any type of sales pitch or marketing or any ties to anyone or anything. It's just, if you have a question, let's hear it. And what are you wondering about? We'll link you up with a planner. So it's available to all Canadians, regardless of your ability to pay. So it's broadly available to anybody who's after it.
And so far, since we've begun doing the work with Pro Bono, can you talk a bit about the experience we've had? Like what kind of questions we've been receiving from people that are interested in the service? Just overall, your impressions so far since we began offering this Pro Bono offering?
We've been operating for about a year, and the questions that have come in are just fantastic. And there's usually not something we haven't heard before. So it's really great to know that Canadians are asking questions, but the questions range from, what about retirement planning? What should I expect? I have a pension, but what else? There could be questions on taxes. There could be questions on, how do you start investing? We have new Canadians or people just fresh out of school who are saying, what next? How do I get into this? There are questions on inheritances. I just received money. What are my next steps? What should I do now? There can be questions that we've seen on cash flow planning. How do we manage? Interest rates are increasing perhaps, and what do I do? Which also leads us into some debt questions, and we can touch on that a little bit, on that debt, but it's mostly cash flow planning. And then I'd say that the last thing we also hear a lot about is disability planning. What supports are there available to Canadians in the investment world that deal with disabilities?
So many amazing questions. And for people that are encountering these things for the first time in their life, it's helpful for them to be able to have somewhere to turn, because like, how do you know how to handle these situations if you've never come across them before, right?
That's right.
Can you talk about some of the situations or questions that maybe the FPAC Pro Bono Committee may not be able to help somebody with, or we may say, hey, this is just something that we will not be able to like engage in or answer questions about, and maybe direct them elsewhere?
Yeah, so some of the things that we won't offer would be specific investment advice. We can't offer that as FPAC. There's sometimes questions about how to get rich quick, or and we have no, unfortunately.
We don't, and nor does anybody else, but we'll tell them straight out that there's just no way to do it, right?
That's right. And then the other question that we get sometimes is also on debt counseling. And that's something that we can deal with cash flow, but when it comes actually to debt counseling, we'll often refer out to insolvency trustees, or if the need is there, if there's something we can't help with, we will refer out to other professionals in our networks to say, here's somewhere better for you to start, and as a first step.
That's great. Can you talk about what somebody can expect when they engage with the Pro Bono Committee, like from the beginning of that process through to booking the meeting, and how that meeting will go, and after the meeting? Can you talk about what that process looks like?
Yeah, for sure. So the first step is to complete an intake form. And that intake form is really important for us because that allows us to get to know you just a little bit about what you're wondering about. And that intake form goes to the volunteer planners to say, who is able to work with these folks. Now, we all know a lot about financial planning, but each of us has our own unique niches that, hey, we're really good at this. So the more information you can provide about your financial situation on that intake form, the better we're able to pair you with someone and to really drive at the heart of what you're after. So once you complete that intake form, you'll normally be hooked up to a planner within about 2 weeks and set a meeting within about a month. And then you can ask your questions, whatever those might be. Normally the meetings last for about an hour, and they're either virtual, or I've also done some phone meetings because that's how people are accessible at the time. And then following that, you'll probably receive a summary. If there are specific questions or calculations that we have to do, we'll do that and we'll get back to you. But usually that hour is all you're committing.
And if somebody gets to the end of that process, they get to the end of the meeting, there's some note taking and some communication that goes back, and they say, you know what, I'm in need of more help. Like, how do we support people if they want to take further steps with financial planning in a more formal capacity with a planner?
Yeah. So if you get through that meeting and say, no, I need help, depending on the type of help you need, you can reach out to almost anyone on the FPAC group, find somebody in your area and set up a formal engagement with them to work with them on an ongoing basis. If that's the help that you need, if it's debt consulting or something else, a tax returns, then there's other professionals that we can offer. But reaching back out beyond that 1 hour meeting, that's up to you.
That makes sense. And so we're going to have in the description section below information on how to contact us, how to get in touch with the Pro Bono Committee, how to complete that intake form. Letitia, thanks for doing this interview today. Is there anything else you want to add or anything you want to share about Pro Bono before we close off the video?
No, it's a great option for Canadians who just have questions, who are just wondering what's the next step that they should take. And we've received all sorts of questions. Nothing you say is going to shock us because we've heard it all. And yeah, we'll just hook you up with someone so at least you're able to ask those questions that are just linked.
That's great. Thanks, Letitia, for doing this. And for the viewer, hopefully you found this video to be helpful. Information on how to get in touch with the Pro Bono Committee is going to be in the description section below. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll speak with you soon. Take care.